The other day I spent the majority of my day making pumpkin blocks, quilt blocks that is. And they are so cute. I couldn't stop making them. I'm going to show you how to make them today, but I do want to show you some of the variations that I made. Oh my goodness, they're so cute. This might have been the first one. Look at how cute that is. I use a stripe for the stem. Here is another one. Oh my goodness. And I made these all out of scraps, by the way. Then I made a turquoise one. Look at this one. Oh my goodness, I love how it turned out. Isn't that cute? And I also made a Halloween one. Can you imagine this with a jack-o'-lantern face appliqué on it? There's so many different things you can do with this block. They were so much fun to make. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but I'm going to do something. In the meantime, I want to show you how to make the block. But before we get started on that, my name is Chris O'Neill from Sew the Distance. Thank you so much for joining me for this quilt block tutorial. Nice and fall, fun, easy, and breaks into some of those scraps. Oh, I missed one. This is so cute. This one has the dark background. Oh, I love how it turned out too. Let's learn how to make this adorable block. This block measures 12.5 by 12.5, unfinished. So that's before it's sewn into a quilt or a table runner or a project or whatever, because we have 1/4 inch seams on the sides. I did it this way so you could incorporate other blocks. For example, I had this left over from the Ohio Star tutorial. This is also 12.5 inches unfinished. I have a Halloween one. You could put this in with your pumpkins so easily because it's the exact same size. Here's a picture of the Ohio Star block for Halloween that I made and the Halloween pumpkin. You can see how cute they look together. Although I think I would put a white background on that Ohio Star, but anyway, that's not even what we're talking about today, is it? No. All right, so let me show you the supplies that you'll need. Also, all this information is on my blog, including a list of the supplies, so you can see that there. Okay, I have all my supplies here on my handy dandy tray, and it's a fall-inspired tray that I got from my friend Sharon. Thanks, Sharon. So you'll need a scrap that is 9.5 by 10.5 inches. You also need background fabric, so you'll need 4 squares that are 2 inches by 2 inches. You'll need 2 rectangles that are 2.5 inches by 4 inches. You'll need 2 side panels, which are 2 inches by 12.5 inches. Had to think for a minute. And you also need a scrap of brown fabric that is 2.5 inch square. Like I said, this is all on my blog, so you can see that there along with all the steps and everything. You also need a pair of scissors, just nice scissors that you can cut away the background when we snowball the corners, which we'll get to, and a marking pen. And I'm using, I don't know what this is, the Sewline Air Erase pen, which is my favorite. And then of course, all your general quilting supplies to make this. So let's get started. So the first step is snowballing the corners on our pumpkin base. And you can use whatever color you want for your base. Pumpkins come in all different colors. It's so much fun because you can really play with this. So we're going to take the 4 squares, the 2 inch by 2 inch squares, and on the back of each of these we're going to draw a diagonal line. And I just use a ruler, and usually I use whatever, what is this, 45 degree? Whatever, I don't know. And I line it up on the edge, and then I just draw a line. Corner to corner. I'm going to do this on all of these. And oh, by the way, I'm doing it on the back of these. Once you have those all drawn, we're going to attach them to the sides, or the corners, I guess, of our pumpkin block. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I am not very good at this, at snowballing corners. I can never seem to get them to come out right, so I have a little bit of a hack that I'm going to show you on what I do. It's a little controversial, I'm sure, but for this block it works. It does not work on all blocks, just keep that in mind. So if you're lining up any seams that are like blocks that are going to go together, that you need those 2 triangles to line up, this won't work, okay? But for this block, it absolutely works. And if you're a beginner, new quilter, and you're just learning this stuff, this is the perfect block to learn on, because it's really not gonna matter that much if it's a little off. So we're gonna put these on the corners, like I said. And I also use a touch of glue. You don't have to do this. This is just something that works for me. And I have my glue here somewhere. Let me find it. I feel like every video I have this happen. I swear it's not planned. It's not part of my agenda or anything like that. Let me find it though. I do plan everything. I do get everything together, but for some reason I'm always missing one thing, and that's the way it has to be, I guess. All right, I'm gonna move my ironing board over here, and I use this Acorn Precision Piecing glue. Any glue will work. I'll show you why, because you're gonna end up cutting away part of it. This is a heat set glue. All right, so I'm just gonna put a little dab of glue right in the corner. I'm lining up the edge here. And also notice the way this line is going. That's the way you want it. You want it to go diagonal from this corner to this corner. And then I'll just hit it with the iron to hold it. Again, any glue will work. And then I'm gonna do that on all 4 corners. And I'm making sure that the direction is correct. It's best to put the glue on the base and then put this on, just because, I don't know, it keeps my brain straight with what I need to do. Hit it with that. This also holds it on while I'm going to the machine, which is great. That's all ready to go. I'm going to take it to the machine. I'm going to show you my little hack with it. Typically people sew on that line, but I'll show you what I do. A little bit different. There are a million ways to do things like this, however, so do what you're comfortable with, but this is what it should look like. The lines are going this way, and it works out well. Let's go to the machine. I'll show you what to do next. As you can see, I have my walking foot on, and what I'm going to do is just sew a teeny tiny bit on this side of the line. That gives me a little wiggle room. It will make sense when we get to the next step. I line it up. I have a neutral thread in, and you just sew. Take your time. You do not have to go fast. And that's it. And you can see I'm just a little hair on the other side of the line. I'm just going to do that on all 4 of the corners. These are sewn. And the next step is to just hit them with the iron. We're setting those seams. I like to do this. You don't have to. And then before I do anything else, I will push these back and make sure that they go the distance that I want. I don't want them too shy. So you don't want them folding over and not reaching the edge. You want them to go a little bit beyond even, or at the very least even with the edge. So you're making a very nice square. You want to keep the integrity of this background. So I like to check to see if it is doing that, which it is. Now some people would actually draw another line a ½ inch away, sew on that, and get a bonus half square triangle. And I did that on one. Let me find it. I want you to see how teeny tiny it is. So for me, it's not worth it. It's itty bitty. I'll put the size here. I can't remember what it is, but you can see it's just tiny, tiny, tiny. And this is the piece that would come off of this, like that. That if it's worth it for you, go for it. And if you're using other blocks or doing this technique with other blocks, absolutely, you might have enough to get a bonus block out of it. I am now gonna just press it over. Nice. And like I said, I'm not worried about it going further. And I press it before I cut anything away. All about insurance policies. Okay, this one's really close. It'll make it, but it's close. So now the next step is to cut away the background. Now again, just like in anything with quilting, there's a million ways to do things. This is no exception. Some people will cut away both of these. Some people will cut away just this beige background. I'll show you what I mean. Some people will just cut this one away like this, and they'll cut a ½ inch away. I did a really poor job, but they'll do that and leave this background as a base. I don't like either of those methods. I cut the whole thing away because I don't like the bulk when I'm quilting something. So I'll go in and eyeball a ½ inch. If you are terrible at eyeballing a ½ inch, you can use your rotary cutter, that's fine too. So I'll do that on all of these. Now you can see I got a little close on that one. That's not good. All right, now I'm gonna press this again really well. And you can see it hangs over a little. Now the next step that I like to do is just trim up those edges so they're even. I'll just put a ruler on, make sure it's even on both sides, and just trim. I'll do that on all 4 sides. This block should measure, with the corners all snowballed and all pretty and looking like a pumpkin, it should measure 9.5 by 10.5 inches. Let's make the stem next. To make your stem, you're gonna take your 2.5 inch square and your 2.5 by 4 inch strip. So you should have 2 of these. And all you're gonna do is lay it out like this, and you're gonna sew this piece here using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and this piece here using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And I actually made one ahead of time, and here it is. So you can see I just pressed it in. It doesn't matter which way you press it, you're not lining up any seams with this. So I pressed them into the dark just out of habit. And you're going to take your unit from before. So this is just gonna go on top here like this. And it should be the right size, which it is. It matches up. And you're just going to place it right sides together like this. You can use that precision glue if you want to. It should be the right size. If it's not the right size, just center the stem in the middle, and then you can trim it down if you want. And you're just going to sew a 1/4 inch down on that. I'm going to do that. I'll be right back. Okay, it is sewn. So we're just going to set those seams. And then just push this back. And again, it doesn't matter which way it goes. For this project, it doesn't matter. Whatever way it wants to go, make it go. Look at how cute. Oh my goodness, it looks so cute. Got a little string there, that's okay. All right, our final step is to put these borders on, just like that. You just sew them onto this block. They should measure the right measurement. They should be the right measurement, and they are, so you won't have a wonky block. And you're just gonna sew a 1/4 inch down on both sides, and you're going to have a block. So I'm gonna do that and meet you back here, like always. All right, here it is. I'm just gonna set those seams. And then I'm gonna press these out. All right, it's done. Look at how cute this is. So you can do all kinds of things with this. And one thing I thought would be really cute are placemats, and I did prepare something to show you. These are 2 strips that are 2.5 by 12.5 each. So if we were to make a placemat, I'll move that. You can just put these on the side. How cute would that be? You could do all kinds of different scrap fabrics, make them all a little different. If you want to, you could even match personalities for your Thanksgiving table, have everybody have their placemats. How cute. You could also make table runners. And let me grab my pile of finished ones, I'll show you. Okay, so you could put them all in a row if you wanted to. And if you want to, you can just flip the middle one. If you want it to be seen on both sides, you could do that, alternating all the way down. I have all the sizes that you'll need if you want to do any of that. So all of it's written up on my blog. Check it out. I even have quilts, I think all the way up to twin size for how many blocks you need to do this. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you fill a pumpkin patch with pumpkins. Have some fun with this super easy, beginner-friendly block. And you could do all kinds of stuff. You could appliqué leaves, you could do just, the possibilities are endless. You could even do embroidery of the lines, all kinds of fun stuff. Have some fun with this and enjoy the process. I hope you have a great day. I hope you take some time to sew, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.